Good morning. In the last video, I spoke about older teenagers, those who were at the age where they're about to leave home, maybe go to university, etc., and the issues they might be facing. So today I'm going to talk about younger teens, so the ones who are the lower end of the secondary school and the issues they might be facing. And it's interesting because every time I think about the different age groups, it almost seems like each age group seems to be the hardest in terms of dealing with this. But of course, the point is they all have their own individual issues. So for those who are about 13 to 16, they're at the age where they're starting to become more independent. And those of you who have had kids who have gone to high school will have noticed how that first year of high school is a time of big changes socially, emotionally. They seem to grow up in this really big jump. And the problem now, of course, is a lot of the things that they did when they started growing up, they're not able to do anymore. So going out with their friends on their own, going off to the shops on their own, all of these little rites of passage, they're not able to do that anymore because of the restrictions that we're under with the coronavirus. And there's also, of course, the fact that they're more able to work out what's going on and they're more likely to feel anxious because it's hard to hide the news from them. They're talking to each other. They're all, making each other feel more anxious sometimes. It's actually really hard. Throw into that mix the hormones of the teenage years, and potentially you have a very difficult time for them to get through, and it's a really hard one. So, on the one hand, we have the adventurous kids who are chafing at the restrictions placed on them. Maybe the other extreme, you've got the more sensitive kids who are anxious and don't want to do the things they did a couple of months ago because they're a bit scared. And as I say, throw into that hormones, noticing the opposite sex, etc., and it could be a bit of a problem. Don't be surprised if again we see some regression in behaviour, because going through those developing teenage years is quite hard at the best of times. It is pretty scary. And so it's not surprising that they might want to go back to a time when life was simpler, when they were younger. They might start wanting to maybe play with toys that they haven't played with in years, do things they haven't done since they were much younger. And if they have a younger brother or sister, you might find they actually start playing with them more because actually they want to play with those toys. They want to go back to those simpler times when life was a bit easier. What can you do about all of this? Well, where they are able to get out and do those things they used to do safely, then that should be encouraged. Generally, reassurance that this is temporary, that it will pass, that things will get better soon, and just expecting them to not be very communicative most days because they're teenagers, but be there when they do want to talk. Try and spend time doing things with them that they like because that can be very useful. And just hold on to them. As all with all of these age groups, knowing that you're there for them is one of the key things because it is a hard time for them. We forget as adults how we felt at that age. So to basically be going through this along with all the teenage stuff, it is going to be pretty hard. So hang on tight, hang on in there. We're going to get through this. And aren't we lucky that we live in Western Australia where, in fact, this hasn't been anywhere near as bad as we suspected? And we can see nuggets of hope every day. So talk to them about that. Talk to them about the fact that things will get back to some semblance of normality very quickly. Thank you. Stay safe.